Hello and welcome to day 9 of my craft room clear out series using my stamp sets one last time before I say goodbye. I'm Sarah Jane from Cards and a Cuppa, and today we're going to be using this hearts and flowers stamp set called Simply Said. And so with the hearts I'm going to do my Valentine's treats for my children. To start with, I'm going to make a card. Then I'm going to decorate some little heart foil tins that Stampin' Up sold a few years ago. And so I've got 10 of them, one for each of the children old enough. And then I'll fill them with sweets a bit closer to the time. So I'm going to use the floral heart and the written outline heart shape to make the card. And I'm going with a Bermuda Bay, and I'm using this paper pad, which is cherry on top, which is Watermelon Wonder, but I don't think I've got the ink pad for Watermelon Wonder. But I like this sort of sweetie paper because I think it's not too Valentine-y. And so I've cut a Whisper White layer to go on the Bermuda Bay. So the Bermuda Bay is 10.5 by 14.8. The Whisper White is 10 by 14.3. And then the paper is 5mm smaller again, so 9.5 by 13.8. And I'm going to use these Sweet and Sassy Framelits dies. And I've got 2 of the plain shaped hearts rather than the ones that come in towards the bottom. So they do fit this quite nicely. And so what I'm going to do is die cut a heart shape out of this and then stamp onto the white once I've stuck the paper onto the white card. I will need my Stamp-A-Majig, so I have broken that out again. So let me cut the heart. And so I'm going to stick the die on the paper, making sure it's straight, using post-it note tape again, and die cut that in my big shot. I will be using these same stamps and dies to cover the heart foil tins as well, so they coordinate. First of all, I'm going to stick this paper onto that white card. To start with, we're going to stamp the outline, and we're using Bermuda Bay for that. And I'm going to use my Stamp-A-Majig. So lock the acetate in, ink up the stamp, stamp and lift, and then position that where you want it. Put the handle back. Remove the acetate, ink again, lock it in, stamp and lift. Perfect. So that was Bermuda Bay. And as I don't have the watermelon that is in this ink pad, so Watermelon Wonder, I don't seem to have the ink pad. I have got polished pinks though, which I think will go quite nicely with it. So I'm going to use the Stamp-A-Majig again, lock the acetate into the handle, ink up a smaller image, stamp and lift, and then position, handle, and stamp. And that's perfectly placed. So I'm going to leave these images on the acetate because, like I say, I've got a lot more to do with all the tins. Okay, well, maybe I'll tie a bunny ear bow and then I'll add it on with a glue dot. So loop up with the 2 ears, keep them as flat as possible, cross over, tuck it under, and it will flip over once entirely. Then you just pull that, and then you end up with a perfect little bow. So I'm going to be careful not to tie it too tight, so that the ribbon stays nice, a nice shape. And then I'm going to just add that on with a glue dot. Stick that to the glue dot and then peel it off. And add that in the corner there. And then trim the ends. And then to finish, we've just got that bit of ribbon. To finish, I'm going to add it to the Bermuda Bay card base. I think a little sequin on here would just finish it off nicely. So let's find something to add a little bit of bling. These woven thread sequins, I think these are in a mini catalogue. They look like they would match in quite nicely. Just add them there. I think I will use the fine tip glue pen to add these. So that's just like a corally colour, that turquoisey blue. I'm not sure if that's a iridescent colour one. And so that's today's card made. And so for the tins, I'm just going to pop that to one side. I've got 10 tins in the pack, and I need 10 for my children and grandchildren. So what I had was a piece of Bermuda Bay cardstock, and I sized up the larger heart because I wanted a layer of the Bermuda Bay. So I've die cut those out. But what I did was sized it up and cut it into 7 centimetre strips. So I got 3 strips out of the Bermuda Bay. Obviously, like getting the hearts as close together as I could. And then what I did was then cut 7 centimetre strips of thick white card as well to go as the layer, which I'm going to stamp. But what I'm going to do is pop those under the Bermuda Bay so that I know where to stamp, to ensure I get enough space around each one so that I can die cut them out. Although the die will be smaller, which is what I want, is the layer, it ensures that I get the right positioning for the stamps. So I'm just going to stamp 10 of these to start with. So 10 of the outline sentiment. And there we have them. So I'm going to die cut all these out now. I'll be back in just 1 second. Okay, so there's all my stamped hearts all punched out or die cut out. And I thought what I might do is get some of that ribbon and add a little tab on the side of this Bermuda Bay layer. Not very big, just that little bit there that overhangs. Again, I'm going to use my staple. So I'll just put a little mini staple in there, trim the back off, and then I'm going to add this with a dimensional. Or 3. Perfect. And then we're just going to add that to the lid of this heart tin. And I'll fill that with some Valentines sweets closer to the time. So I'm just going to use some multi-medium matte again by Ranger. Should be enough. That's in the lid. It'll take a little while to dry, but it will stay there. And then I've just got another 9 to do. And so that's today's card and gift box using Simply Said stamp set by Stampin Up. A lovely set. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Facebook and Instagram, where you'll get reels and shorts of this make, and on YouTube where you'll get the full length version of the card making. Thanks for watching today.